I had a Zag fan lose a bet to me. Nice. Plus, I got to watch them lose, like, just on my television for fun. It was a great day. Yeah. It was a great day yesterday.
How about them Beavers, man?
Here is Mike Doc Parker, our legendary friend down in Corvallis, with his call of Oregon State beating Gonzaga.
Out to Nembhard. His catch and shoot three. That's no good. Chased in the corner by Huff. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Out to Hickman for a three. It's no good. And the Beavers have defeated Gonzaga in overtime. The final score, the Beavers 97, Gonzaga 89, and a sellout crowd, many of them beginning to stream onto the court. The Beavers, in one of the great wins in the modern era, take down mighty Gonzaga at home before the first sellout crowd in 5 years. The Beavers 97, Gonzaga 89, and let the celebration ensue, and it certainly is here at grand old Gill Coliseum.
There's Mike Doc Parker, Learfield Sports, Oregon State 14-5 on the year. They're just as good as Gonzaga, who's 14-5 on the year, but they're ranked in the top 15.
Yeah, what are we doing here?
Another quad one win from my Beavs. Suck at Zags.
I believe that's 2 for the Beavs.
2 quad one wins on the year?
Okay, so you didn't see this. Did you see any of the highlights of the post game?
I watched the rest of it when I got up this morning.
Oh, you did?
I did, yeah.
Did you watch, like, the post game?
I did not watch the post game.
So they went live on the court to Tinkle, and I think it's Emily Proud was on the
She was the sideline reporter, yeah.
And she asked him 2 questions. He barely could talk. He was screaming. His voice was gone. And he's like, talk to them. It's Blake's fault. It's Blake's fault. It's Ratai's fault. And so they go back to the broadcast. Then they send it back to her. She has found Ratai in the mosh pit of students.
He was huge in the second half.
What a disaster to be in that interview.
Not good?
Dude, these students did not care that she was interviewing him. They were mosh pitting, just crowding her, jumping on her. The camera's shaking. He's like, I can't hear you. Go, baby. 2 questions and we're done doing it. But it was a good win for the Beavs, all jokes aside, against Gonzaga.
It was. I think when you're going to pull off an upset like that, you need everybody to play a little bit, punch a little bit above their weight, and you need multiple guys to step up. Like Kings in the first half, he went on a stretch where he just couldn't miss.
It was perfect. Yeah.
Early on, it felt like, because Oregon State came out the first 5 minutes, I feel like, maybe that's exaggerating. They couldn't miss a shot out of the gate. Mm-hmm. And then Gonzaga kind of settled into the game, and all of a sudden Gonzaga's up, and Oregon State had a long stretch where they were scoreless. And then it was Kings that kind of carried them the rest of the half that led them to having a lead at the halftime. When I thought they lost the game, to be honest with you, was at the end of the first half, the last 2 minutes. They were up by 8 or 9. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, Gonzaga goes on a little mini run. They hit the buzzer beater.
Battle hit that 3 at the buzzer.
Dude, 46. It felt like they were the better team in the first half, and it's 46-45. Mm-hmm. And then the first couple of minutes of the second half, it felt like Gonzaga was starting to take control of the game, and they built kind of a 6-point lead. And you thought, they had their chance, kind of let them off the hook at the end of the half. Credit to Oregon State, because it wasn't just Kings. He didn't do a ton in the second half. You have multiple guys up and down the roster without much bench production, mind you, that all kind of played above their weight, which is what you need to do to pull off an upset.
Well, Ratai was obviously awesome. He was their leader last night. He's had a great year for them. Fala, before he fouled out, was really good last night. I'm going to give you an unsung hero on this team from the games I've watched. I have not watched every game, but I've watched more games this year than I have in the last couple. Josiah Lake is a young player from Tualatin, 2-time state champion, by the way. And he's a local product. His dad played there. He was a walk-on. He's now earned a scholarship. His box score might not pop every game. So last night he had a good one. He had 11 points, 4 rebounds. Here's the kicker. This is where I think it mattered. 3 steals.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that for them, if they're going to keep playing well, they need that. I can talk crap to Gonzaga fan all I want today. I'm going to tell you right now, wouldn't have made the bet with a Zag fan yesterday if this game was in the kennel.
No.
Because I had somebody to me say, hey, that basketball stuff you talk about on your show, you got it. 14-5 is a good year. That was a great win for them, the best since Jordan Pope beat Arizona at the buzzer. What I would say to everybody else that thinks that way, they need to win on the road. This is good. I'm not shocked that they won that game last night. It's a lot of fun to give the crowd what they want. They have to win on the road. And until they do, this is just going to feel like those little bottles of gold that your parents bring back from an Alaska trip. I got you gold. And it's they're flakes. Really. What is this worth?
Real gold.
Well, this ain't real.
They're at San Francisco on Saturday. And
That's a good contest.
The Dons are one of the top
Right.
teams in the conference, and they know what they're doing. And
Yes.
so you've got to go down there.
They
and
just lost to Santa Clara.
Yep.
Like,
They did.
you beat Pacific, whatever. That's the bottom of the barrel in that conference. They need to win on the road. If they start winning games on the road, I become more of a believer. This is fun. It is. It's a fun night of basketball. The next thing this team has to do, they got to win on the road.
You got a road game at Gonzaga as well at the end of the month.
I don't
so
feel
you're
good
going
about
back
that.
to Spokane in
Yeah.
a revenge spot. And then you get St. Mary's on the road at the end of the year. You still
That
haven't
I
played
don't
St.
feel
Mary's
good.
at home yet either.
I
So
know.
you get them at home first, and then you get them at the down in their place at the end of the year. Very last game of the season.
We'll get into all the football dealings. I know you probably have too many football takes. I want to ask you very quickly. We're against it. Your team has a big game tomorrow.
We do tomorrow.
I'm curious your thoughts. Purdue is fighting for first place in the Big Ten. They're a half game back. The top 6 teams in the Big Ten are in the top 25. As you're learning as a new B1G team,
Yes.
you just exist in that conference,
You're
and
good.
it never matters how bad they are in the tournament.
No.
They just get a benefit. I don't know what it is about that, but they do.
If you're in the top 10 of the Big Ten standings, you're automatically in the NCAA tournament.
I think
Absolutely.
the SEC,
You could be 18 and
yeah.
16. It doesn't matter.
I agree.
The SEC, the Big 12, and the Big 10 might put half the field in the NCAA
It
tournament.
certainly feels that way, despite whether that's fair or not.
It's not.
How do you feel about that matchup against Purdue?
Dude, I know nothing about Purdue, so I'm not even going to pretend to break it down. The only thing that I will point
You
to.
guys match up against Zach Edey, okay?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Zach Edey, big guy. We got a couple of bigs. Biddle, how's he going to handle that? Oh, wait, no, he's no longer at Purdue. The only thing that I will be curious of, to be honest with you, the only thing I'll say to preview it, is do we get that atmosphere?
Yeah, do you get
Because that was awesome. Like, there were Gonzaga fans there last night, but what you couldn't really hear. I mean,
It wasn't as much as I thought.
It wasn't a loud contingent. You saw a couple of them behind one of the hoops that were cheering when Gonzaga would make a bucket, and that was kind of it. So I figured there was going to be more Gonzaga fans there. Oregon State fans showed up. It was awesome. Like, that was what the fan base needed. We don't need to go through the last couple of years. Getting wins like that, nights like that, it's really encouraging, I think, for Oregon State fan. We have a really good basketball program. We have for a long time under Dade Altman, and we don't care. Now, it's easy for me to throw rocks in a glass house because I ain't driving my ass down to Eugene and going to games all the time. So I'm the one sitting here behind a microphone telling you to go and you to support, and I'll lay on my couch and watch at home. But I do hope that it's a good crowd tomorrow. That's the only main thing that I'm keeping an eye on because Purdue's a good team, and I want there to be, like, at what point does the support come? The team's there. The success is there. They're having a good year. What are they ranked right now? 12, 13?
13.
Yeah, right
Yeah,
there.
13.
Top 13. You can make an argument they should
Will
be top
a
10.
noon tip help or hurt 'em?
I would think it would hurt or help,
NFL
excuse me, on a
playoffs,
Saturday.
though. NFL playoffs are at 1:40.
Yeah, but the game's on before the play. It's not like it's on at the same time as Bills and Ravens. You know, it's a noon Saturday drive down. It's supposed to be nice weather. Go walk around. I just hope it's a good crowd.
Do either of you know what Mac Court's capacity was?
About 10, I want to say.
So close to
Oh,
Gil.
I don't think it was. I
Not
think
even
it
that.
was like
Because Gil's
8.
is like 95.
It's not. Mike said 9301. It
93,
used to
thank
be
you.
like 10,000.
Yeah, they've
And
Capacity is 9,087
at Mac Court.
at Mac Court.
And what's Matthew? Is it 19?
Oh, God, yeah.
Isn't it like
probably.
an NBA size? 18?
No, it's not
It's
that
not quite
big.
that big, but it's
It feels like it when you're in
It
there.
goes
just
straight
shy
up.
of 13,000.
Yeah.
13. Oh, wow, it's way off. Okay. I mean, that makes a difference.
That's 4,000, 3,000 extra seats.
You're
yeah.
asking 4,000 more people
to go.
that traditionally you never needed, and now you're like, hey,
Yeah.
we need you to show up. Look, I think they're going to come close to a sellout. I think Purdue fans are going to show up because they were in Seattle. I'd
Sounds like, yeah.
imagine they're going to travel down.
little West Coast trip.
Even if it's not a sellout, I think largely you're just looking to feel and hear that crowd.
Yes, when a
right?
big bucket happens, cheering on defense. Like, that's all you want. Just give me a good atmosphere.
That is all you're asking
That's it.
for.
What channel is that game on tomorrow?
I think it's on NBC.
NBC. So it's like a network game, middle of the day. That'll get
okay.
decent eyeballs.
Yeah.
It's before the football starts. Let's have it be a good atmosphere tomorrow.
Last I'd say, and we'll go to the football. It's really nice. You don't have to watch every game in college. I've certainly griped about the style of play in college basketball. How nice is it that both these fan bases have this? Because, man, what the Blazers are giving you is absolute steaming pile of dog crap that you don't need to care about.
I'm honestly wondering when the next time I'm going to watch a Blazer game is.
I wouldn't blame you if it's
Yes.
never the rest of the way because I think the tank is really.
Oh, it's upon us.
I mean, it's already been on, but
Yeah.
like I think they're going to lean even harder into it.
Nice to see Scooter evidently had a good night. I didn't see it, but it
We
looked like
started,
on the box
you
score.
know, it started as a good night. It did not end
It
as a
fizzled
good
out.
night.
Well, he did better than 0 for 9. I'll say that much. He made a field goal last night. That much I know.
I'll tell you one final Blazer note that you don't need to know, but I know you'd appreciate it.
Yeah, what do you got?
Anthony Simons was 0 for 9 from the field, 0 for 5 from 3, 0 points logged. He played 30 minutes. Shaden Sharp played 23. Sure.
Yeah, because that's how you develop young players. We're going to give you the tools to be your own boss.
We're really thriving here.
Really thriving in that rebuild, baby.
But go Ducks, go Beavs.
Yes.
Both our teams are good and giving you something to watch.